November 22, variant 2. Paper 4, variant 2. Phytoplankton. بادئها كده. Phytoplankton يعني أول كلمة في الامتحان phytoplankton. Consists of many species of single-celled and many-celled algae. Algae are classified in the protoctist kingdom. All algae contains one or more chloroplasts. What is another kingdom that contains chloroplasts? This is an easy question. Another kingdom that has chloroplasts is the plant kingdom, plants. A student investigated the species composition of the phytoplankton in a lake, and this is what he collected from the lake. The actual length is 0.19. Converted to micrometers, I will multiply by 1000 to convert it to micrometers. The student made careful drawings of 7 types of algae found in samples of lake water. I have multiple pictures and I have a dichotomous key. So the same, we will look at one picture and we will follow the key. Let's look at this picture, for example. The alga has 4 spine-like extensions. It does not have 4 spine-like extensions. It has 4 extensions only. It has 4 extensions. Okay. Sorry. If you look at the rest of when I went down, I saw the spine-like, it means that it is pointed. These are the spine-like extensions. So no, this one is not considered because they are blunt. لا, there is no spine-like extension. Here we have spine-like extensions, okay? يبقى no spine-like. Go to number 3. Does it have a round shape? ولا not round? لا, it's not round. Okay, not round. Go to number 4. Narrow towards the end. Not narrow towards the end. Not narrow. It is not narrow. It is blunt. Not narrow. Okay. Not narrow. Go to number 6. Is it branched or not branched? Yes, it is branched. There are multiple branches. So I will write A here. Type. Let's solve another one. Let's solve another one. This one. Does it have spine-like extensions? No. Is it round? Yes, it is round. Then I will write B. And then you will complete the rest of the pictures. Follow the key to write each letter in front of the correct name. Okay. Phytoplankton are photosynthetic organisms. Describe the importance of phytoplankton in the food web. Phytoplankton can carry out photosynthesis. So they are similar to plants. What are their importance in the food web? Since they carry out photosynthesis, they are considered producers. They convert the light energy into chemical energy and therefore provide source of food for the primary consumer and make the energy available for the rest of the food web. They will be like the plants since they since they carry out photosynthesis. Okay. Question 2, diagram of the human alimentary canal and the associated organs. It shows the enzymes that the organs secrete, their substrates, and their product. Easy question. You just need to make sure you study the enzymes very well. Amylase enzyme, and he gave you number 1. Number 1, under the tongue and behind the tongue is the salivary glands. Salivary glands. The amylase digests starch into maltose. Number 3. What is organ number 3? It is the stomach. We have the pepsin enzyme in the stomach digests proteins into amino acids. Number 4. Number 4. Under the stomach, we have the pancreas. Gives out lipase which digests fats into fatty acids and glycerol. The last one, maltase enzyme, we just said that it is released from the um, small intestine, epithelium of the small intestine, which is number 5, and it digests the maltose sugar into glucose. Explain the role of hydrochloric acid in the alimentary canal. HCl, what does it do? HCl, what does it do? It has two roles. The first role is that it provides the optimum pH for the pepsin enzyme, and the second role that it kills the bacteria by denaturing their enzymes. Kills the bacteria. If you ate something that's not clean, something that's infected, it will kill the bacteria by denaturing their enzymes. Also, it provides the optimum pH for the pepsin enzyme. State the function of the region of the alimentary canal labeled 6. State a function of the region of the alimentary canal labeled 6. What is 6? 6. The main function of part 6, which is the large intestine, is that it reabsorbs water. Reabsorbs water. Okay. Describe how food eaten by humans is reduced to smaller pieces, and explain how this makes chemical digestion more efficient. How do we reduce food to smaller pieces? We have multiple ways. يبقى here I'm going to describe where the physical digestion occurs. I will describe the physical digestion. It occurs to increase the surface area for faster enzyme activity. Where does this happen inside my body? The teeth breaks down the food by chewing. Also, stomach breaks down the food by churning action using the muscles in the wall of the stomach. There's a third thing, the bile juice. Bile juice secreted from the liver causes emulsification of fats. What is emulsification? Breaking down of large fat particles into smaller pieces. All of these have the same purpose. We want to increase the surface area for the enzymes to work faster. Aphids are insects that feed on the phloem sap. Aphids. By inserting their mouth part into the phloem tissue. And he gave you the picture of the aphid. State two visible features that identify this animal as an insect. Visible features. Okay? 3 pairs of legs and 3 body parts. 3 pairs of legs and 3 body parts. This is the features in the insect. Aphids can transmit viral pathogens when they feed on a plant. Suggest how a severe infestation of aphids can be avoided. يبقى this is a suggest question, but it is related to things that you took. Aphids are insects. So if you want to avoid them, you will spray insecticides, or you can use from the start crops that are resistant to the pests. Use crops that are resistant to pests. Okay. The aphid shown is feeding on the phloem. State the names of 2 tissues in the leaf that the mouth part pass through to reach the phloem. It enters from the top surface of the leaf and it goes inside until it reaches the phloem. So what is it going to pass through? The tissues that it will pass through, I can say it will pass through the upper epidermis, which is the first layer in the leaf, or the palisade mesophyll, the spongy mesophyll, or the xylem, because the xylem is on top of the phloem. Okay? The upper epidermis, palisade, spongy, xylem, anything is correct. Aphids have been used to investigate translocation. Oh. While they are feeding on the phloem sap, they excrete a sucrose-rich fluid known as honeydew. Again, when the aphids feed on the sucrose from the phloem, they excrete sucrose-rich fluid known as honeydew. This is the investigation he did. He got two groups of aphid, group A and group B. They were placed at intervals along the stem. This is a glass chamber filled with carbon dioxide gas, but the carbon dioxide is labeled. It has a label on it. It has a label on it. Radioactive label. It has a type of carbon called carbon 14, not the usual carbon. And he puts a group of aphids here and another group of aphids here. There is a petri dish to collect the honeydew. And here is a damp cotton petri dish with water. Okay. The leaves were enclosed in an airtight glass chamber, special form of carbon dioxide that contained radioactive carbon was supplied to the leaves. Samples of honeydew were collected. The time taken for the sucrose containing carbon 14 to travel the distance between A and B was recorded. The investigation was repeated twice using fresh stem and different groups of aphids for each trial. Right, this is the distance and this is the time taken for the carbon 14 to travel between A and B. And this is the rate of movement per hour. Rate of movement per hour. Okay? First question. Outline how carbon dioxide gas becomes incorporated into the sucrose molecules that are translocated. How come the carbon dioxide gas around the leaves becomes inside the sucrose that is translocated in the phloem? We missed the question. Complete the table by calculating the rate in trial 3. How do I calculate the rate here? The distance, I will do cross multiplication. It moved 630 millimeter in 150 minutes. If I want to get it per hour in 60 minutes cross multiplication, it will be 252. 252. Okay? Here, how is the carbon dioxide in the air? Will be incorporated in the sucrose. I will just explain the photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide enters the leaf through stomata and then it is used in photosynthesis where it reacts with oxygen in chloroplasts producing glucose, and then the glucose is converted to sucrose. This is how this carbon, the carbon in the carbon dioxide, enters inside the sucrose. Okay, sucrose travels from the stem to other parts of the plant known as sinks, where it is used. State two parts that are sink. Any two parts. Flowers, roots, seeds, any part that the food goes to is considered a sink. Sucrose is used in the cells of the sinks in a plant. Describe the uses of sucrose. Take care that the sucrose is made from glucose. We can convert glucose to sucrose and we can convert sucrose to glucose. So the uses of sucrose, what do we do with it? What do we do with the sugar in the plant? Sucrose can be broken down into glucose to be used in respiration, release of energy for the growth. We need the energy for growth and active transport. It can also be stored as starch, or it can be used to make cellulose, as converted to cellulose to make the cell walls. All these are uses of the sugar. Okay. Question 4, flow chart showing the processes that occur in a biofuel power plant. I am making biofuels. Crop wastes, forestry wastes, giant reed plants is grown for biomass. I do the pre-treatment. Complex carbohydrates release, broken down by enzymes, release of sugars, fermentation by the yeast, which gives out ethanol that is used as a biofuel. Biofuel. The first question was complete the balanced chemical equation to show how ethanol is produced by the yeast. Ethanol. So I want the equation for anaerobic respiration. It is a glucose C6H12O6, which will give me two ethanol alcohol molecules, two C2H5OH, and two carbon dioxide. Two alcohol, two carbon dioxide. What are the advantages of using ethanol as a fuel? Advantages of biofuel. Why is it better? Because it uses the wastes, and I'm doing the ethanol from the wastes from the farms. Okay, less use of fossil fuels, so you will conserve the fossil fuels for the future. Less carbon dioxide produced because it will be used by photosynthesis of the plants, so less enhanced greenhouse effect. Okay. Farmers grow giant reed plants as monoculture. What is the disadvantage of growing a plant as monoculture? What is monoculture? Growing a single plant in a large area of land. What will happen when you have only one plant in a large area? I can say by loss of habitat, loss of biodiversity, spread of diseases, loss of soil fertility because all the land will just be a single type instead of being different types. One problem with using biomass in the process is that the breakdown stage produces a sugar called xylose and ethanoic acid. طيب, let's get read slowly. One problem of using the biomass is that when it is broken down by the yeast, when it is broken down, it produces a sugar called xylose and ethanoic acid. The yeast cannot use xylose, and the ethanoic acid is toxic to the yeast. طب what is the solution? The scientist genetically engineered a type of yeast that can use xylose and ethanoic acid. The figure shows the results of one of the trial experiments done by the scientists using their new genetically engineered yeast. What can I see? Concentration of xylose and ethanoic acids are decreasing. Concentration of yeast is increasing, which means that this new yeast is using the sugar and it is growing. Right. The first question doesn't need your studying. Describe the results. Describe the results. This is what I just said. The xylose and the ethanoic acid concentration are decreasing, while the concentration of the ethanol is increasing. The ethanol, sorry, not the yeast. Ethanol means that the yeast is using the sugar and it's producing ethanol. Ethanol is increasing and then it becomes relatively constant. It levels off. Concentration of xylose, ethanoic acid decreases while ethanol increases. Steep decrease. There was a steep decrease until 62 hours and then it levels off. Ethanol increases to 44 grams. Here it increased until 44 grams per decimeter cube. Small change occurs after 62 hours. After 62 hours, the increase was very little. So you can just describe the numbers. أنا بس إيه? I'm describing the numbers in front of me. Any valid point. Experiment was done at 30 degrees and then repeated at 20 degrees. What is the results you would expect? 20 degrees means the enzymes are less active. When they are less active, they will take more time to produce the same amount of ethanol. يبقى here it will take longer time to reach the same concentration of ethanol because the enzymes are less active at lower temperatures. Okay. Question number 5, figure 5.1 shows the Macanlay's cuckoo dove. It is found on most of the islands on the southwest of the Pacific Ocean. Carker Island is one island where the Macanlay's cuckoo dove is found. This species is part of many communities that are adapted to different habitats. Define the term community. What is the community? It is all the populations of different species living in an ecosystem. All the population. We said that the population is a group of, it's a species of organisms that can reproduce to produce no, sorry, that's the definition of the species. What's a population? Group of organisms living in the same area at the same time. Population is a group of living organisms living in the same area at the same time. So what's a community بقى? All the populations of different species in an ecosystem. Complete the passage with the appropriate words. Adaptation is defined as the process resulting from natural selection. Natural selection. He left you two spaces. What does this mean? Natural selection occurs where it chooses the best features for the organisms to be adapted to their environment, by which the population becomes more suited to their environment over many generations. The highest point on the Carker Island is 1,800 meters above sea level. In 1969, a researcher surveyed the bird species on the Carker Island. He recorded the vertical distribution between the sea level and 1,600 meters. يعني he's checking the population of bird. Where is it found? Here, it was found from before 1,000 meters above sea level till 1,200, for example. Here, it's a little bit lower. Here, from the sea level up until a little bit above 1,000. It is showing you where the birds are located above sea level. In 1969 and in 2013, he is comparing the 2 years. Compare the ranges in 1969 with the ranges in 2013 for each bird. طب let's see. For bird A, the mayor's goshawk, they extended a little bit lower. They were here in 1969, but in 2013, they went a little bit lower. يبقى it extends downwards in 2013. Macanlay's cuckoo dove extends upwards. They went higher up. Island thrush, what happened? They do not extend as much as they did. Their population decreased. Island leaf warbler, there is no change. No change. Just a description. Using the information, suggest reasons for the change in C. Why did this happen? This is a repeated question. When he asks you why the population decreased, here I can see that the population decreased. Why did any population decrease? You can say any factor that affects the population. I can choose any factor that affects the population: decrease in population due to competition, habitat loss, increased diseases, predation, less food available, climate change, all will be accepted. Okay. Small oceanic islands are often inhabited by species of birds that are found nowhere else. Many of these species have decreasing population, often endangered. Explain the risks to these species of birds having decreasing population. When he says, what is the disadvantages of a small population? Small population, it is decreasing. There will be less genetic variation, less evolution and adaptation to the changing environment, increased risk of genetic diseases because they are interbreeding together, and increased risk of extinction. The last question, it shows a diagram of a circulatory system in a fish, which is the single circulation, and a mammal, double circulation. Single circulation, double circulation. State the names of Q, T, W, and X. Q, this is the heart of the fish. T, out of the kidney, then this is the renal vein. W, it is going back to the heart from the right atrium, then this is the vena cava. S, from the lungs to the left atrium, this is the pulmonary vein. Okay? No, he doesn't want S, he wants X. Sorry. S is the pulmonary vein. X is the pulmonary artery. From the pulmonary, from the right ventricle to the lungs, this is the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. Okay. What is the name of structure V and describe its function? V, the wall in the middle of the heart, it is the septum. It prevents mixing of the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. طب what is the advantages of the why the fish is called single circulation? Because it passes through the heart once. What is the advantages of the double circulation? We answered this in another exam. However, here I will not say it prevents mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated since you already said it. Try to add different points. Having double circulation allows good supply of oxygenated blood because it allows the blood to go to the lungs, bring oxygen, come back, and take another push. يبقى it allows good supply of oxygen. It maintains high blood pressure to be able to reach all your cells, and at the same time, lower pressure to the lungs. The left side has higher pressure, while the right side has lower pressure to avoid the damage of the lung blood vessels. Okay? The blood vessels that supplies the heart muscles can be blocked. What is the blood vessels that supplies the heart muscle? Blood vessels going to the heart, it is the coronary arteries. Coronary arteries. This question is cancelled according to the syllabus starting from 2023. Complete questions. Oxygen is absorbed into the blood. State the structure in the lungs where oxygen passes to the blood from air to the blood through the alveoli. What is the site of filtration in the kidney? The glomerulus, which is the blood capillaries inside Bowman's capsule. Name of the process in which the products of digestion moves into the cells and becomes part of the cells. Digested molecules becomes used in the cells. This is assimilation. Process in which excess amino acids are broken down, deamination. Organ that releases estrogen in the blood, ovary. And that's it.